So this one's going to be a little bit different. I know a lot of you out there have been seeing the news, hearing about the movement, the protests, the marches, all that shit. How many people talk about it, how it affects their daily lives? I don't think many do. We got a lot of YouTubers who are disconnected from corporate America or corporate anywhere, really, because they're independent. They're self-employed, right? They don't have to deal with shit that comes down the pike. I was contacted with a good friend of mine recently who said, and it's weird because I haven't talked to him in a few months. The last time I talked to him was about the governor of Texas. I didn't know he actually was in a wheelchair. And my friend of mine is also in a wheelchair. And he's like, I hate that fake crib. And I was like, what the fuck? He was mad because he's like using it as a prop to get elected, basically. From what I read, he actually got in an accident where his back was jacked up and he lost the ability to walk, basically. He lost his legs. But he was, like, my friend was mad because he was born that way. And he was like, this guy's just using it as a prop. I was like, holy shit, man. I didn't think of it that way, but all right. But he contacted me because he's like, yeah, I just got this new gig and they're forcing me to do an unconscious bias training. And I thought of you. And I thought to myself, do I really have that much of an impact on people? They still had to do the training. This unconscious bias nonsense, I've already covered it in other videos, but basically it's the idea that your brain somehow can be programmed unconsciously to do shit. No, the unconscious mind is emotional. It's irrational. It doesn't think. It feels. Morality is based on the unconscious mind in some sense. Racism has nothing to do with the unconscious mind as far as the unconscious cares. Whether you like or hate a person can be trained, and your conscious mind can influence the unconscious because now you've programmed yourself to basically have a hateful reaction. But your opinion can change too, so therefore your reaction will change instantaneously as well. That's the way the unconscious works. It's very unpredictable. It's completely irrational. And not much of it is understood because of its unpredictability. But then, I'm still working in corporate America. I still have a job, maybe not for much longer, because I'm thinking about doing something. It'll probably get me fired because it has many others in my same situation. And that's to say, how can I put this? There was an email put out by the Office of Global Diversity. Yes, that's a fucking thing in corporate America. Office of Global Diversity, the chief diversity officer, put out an email talking about the riots. How Black Lives Matter has decided to beat people in the streets and kill them, but he calls it a movement toward racial justice. He posts a picture of his daughter holding up a Black Lives Matter sign because she, unprompted, went and created it. She just wanted some colors for 30 minutes and then came back and said, check it out, Mom and Dad. Which tells me that they are teaching her this. I don't think he realizes that he's now going against the BLM mantra about us because they believe in the destruction of the nuclear family. The nuclear family is a symptom of white culture and white supremacy. You shouldn't have a nuclear family. So this person puts out this email and I'm thinking to myself, why do you still have a daughter photo? Why do you still have a marriage? BLM doesn't want you to be married. They want the destruction of the nuclear family. That woman should be on alimony from you because you're an executive. You make $250,000 a year? Probably. Your bonuses are ridiculous? Yeah. And you're putting out racial shit. And the thing is, every organization throughout the world is doing layoffs right now. And they're deciding to pivot with this shit and then say, oh, race and gender is not a contributing factor to you getting hired, but hey, look at our new demographics. And you expect me not to believe that there's something nefarious going on that violates the EEOC and the labor laws against discrimination? Diversity should not even be a talking point unless you're talking about diversity of education, experience, knowledge. Those are the true values of diversity within an organization. The only diversity that matters is the difference of opinion, not the difference of your skin. So I'm sitting through, and I've lost sleep over this. I haven't been posting many videos either because I've been trying to use the regular news to distract me from this shit. But you know what? This is hitting home. I can't deal with this shit. It's affecting my sleep. In case you haven't figured out, I got the big old bags under my eyes. It's because I only sleep 5 hours a day. Shut the fuck up, you goddamn computer. I'm not going to edit this shit out. Nope, I'm going to leave it in. I need this raw. I honestly, if I say something, if I bring this up to HR, will they listen? Will they care? This is an executive posting this shit, telling me that white privilege is a thing, that they're going to combat whiteness. They sent out a bunch of links. Like, I got a list of 30 fucking links from this. And if I do get fired from this, I'm just going to post it all. I'm going to go to the EEOC and all that shit. And maybe even file a lawsuit. Because I think I have enough evidence to show that they were discriminating against people based on gender and race. Starting from the beginning of their transformation to the end where I got laid off or fired or whatever. And if I email HR, do I accelerate my, as one of my colleagues put it, a career limiting move? See, I don't have anything else but the things I'm good at, which is IT, solving problems. I got a doctorate in management, but I've not used it. Well, I'd make a consulting firm. Who's going to want to use a consulting firm that says, you know what, your Office of Diversity is a waste of fucking money, get rid of it? If you want to do things right, you need to devise a system that reduces and removes any and all use of race, gender, and sexual orientation. All of it. Your zero tolerance policies that originally existed, spot on. That should stay. Anything else is overkill. Now you're overcompensating for a problem that doesn't exist anymore. The society moves forward, not backwards. Well, actually, I have to take that back. Because in the last 10 plus years, almost 15 now, it's been moving backwards. Back to the 60s. These fuckers, these people are so obsessed with history that they fail to see how much better they had it than they did before. Was Jim Crow fucked up? Yeah, it was pretty messed up. It was bad. It was egregious. It was disgusting. Does it exist now? Yeah, it does. Guess how? The last time I read something from, I think it was Stanford, or was it Berkeley? California, Berkeley. Black students want segregated spaces to relieve themselves from white people. So in other words, resegregation based on race, because integration offended you. Backwards. The words that I hold dear from Martin Luther King, and everybody seems to cringe when anybody brings him up because, oh my God, he was telling something that's true. I pray for the day when someone judges me by the content of my character and not the color of my skin. Because right now, people are judging me because I'm white. I have white privilege, according to these stupid sons of bitches. If you knew 1 ounce of the shit that I grew up in and went through, you'd still say I have white privilege, despite being arrested for a crime I didn't commit. In fact, it was my father's crime, and it was his warrant. Despite having everyone beat me at school. Despite having 3 girls who thought it was funny to go kick me right square in the groin and then get away with it because they're the pretty girls. Despite having maybe 2 friends. I talked to a bunch of the people I went to high school with, but they never really were my friends. I have 1 friend from that era. 1. That I've maintained. And she is the only one that had my back when I needed it most. I don't know what to do. There was a very now famous Google person that spoke up and said, well, maybe we should do this, and here's some evidence, and we'll cite some studies, and, this is probably a better way to do it. He was ousted and fired from Google. I'm pretty sure you guys know who I'm talking about. It's looking like I might be going down that same road if I say something. And I really can't afford that route. Not with the way the economy is. Not with the way my 401k is. I'd be screwed. This virus has fucked me into a corner. I would have been able to come out and, float for a few months, maybe find something new, assuming that I could get a new job after that. Assuming that somebody out there would give me an offer that doesn't have their head up their ass with all this social justice nonsense. Or maybe I just get blacklisted because I'm like, this stuff is racist. It needs to go away. I'm at a loss. Tonight, I got 2 hours of sleep. I got 2 hours of sleep because I kept on waking up. And every time I woke up, I thought about this fucking email, a conversation that hasn't happened yet or might happen, whether or not I'll lose my goddamn job over it. Or even if I lose my job just from the restructuring that we're all going through, because we're about to go through layoffs. I'm stressed the fuck out. We got the world burning on one side, Antifa grabbing power, Black Lives Matter beating people in the streets, grabbing power as well. Senators, freaking Democrats, all of them supporting these crazy sons of bitches. I'm lost. And I know many people in corporate America are in the bubble, just like I am. It's so easy when you're independent. You don't have a family supporting you and all that. Tim Pool puts it that way. I get it. You have a family, but you need to stand up on principle. Okay. Does principle feed my family? Does principle put food in my family? Does principle pay my bills? Or does principle get me ousted to where I'll never have a job again? Relying on YouTube videos and GoFundMe's and Subscribestar, hoping that'll float and pay my bills. Public speaking appearances because I happen to speak out against corporate America. Be another character in the culture wars. Is that really going to solve anything? I think the only path forward that we have, by the way, to finish this shit is take over the companies that have so egregiously pushed this shit out and fucked everything up, and then dismantle, with their favorite words and their favorite tactic, dismantle the shit that they have created. Because it's so egregious and wrong that it doesn't belong in civil society. It's not about justice. It's about power. And there's no just act that abuses power. Anyways, I've gone on long enough. I just felt like recording this because, well, who else will speak about it? There's plenty of people. They're all self-employed. Even Count Dankula can't find a job anymore. He's been blacklisted from the universe. Why? Same reason. He made a joke. Somebody found it offensive. Now he's burned. I got YouTube videos. I got a presence. I had people digging in my history that are associated to that John Brown gun club and shit like that. Started, we were in a discussion and all of a sudden he started pulling up my work history and where I work and shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, you want to play that game, motherfucker? You threatened my livelihood. That was none of your business. I know people like that. They're bullies. I fucking hate bullies. Anyways, that's all I got. Hopefully, maybe I'll get some sleep. I seriously doubt it. It's already 5:30 in the morning for me. And I still don't know what to do. Maybe one of you... No, this decision is going to affect my family. I just don't know. Till next time.